long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Zimbietta and JJ Buck. Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Zimbietta.
Welcome in to the opening drive. Good morning, Albuquerque. Welcome in. I hope everyone is having an outstanding morning thus far, because I know I am. I'm back in the big chair. I'm back in the driver's seat, right here with my favorite group of listeners, the opening drive listeners. Thank you for allowing me to host you this morning. I am, of course, Zay Johnson. Bob Walpo is in producing sports. Thank you out. Good morning, Bob. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm awake.
I know, and I know you. I don't know if you're superstitious or anything, but I know you had your favorite breakfast. You superstitious? No. I know you had your favorite breakfast. Is your favorite or is not your favorite?
No, it's what I eat.
It's just convenient. Is your favorite or is not your favorite?
No, it's what I eat.
Okay, it's convenient. Is your favorite or is not your favorite? Okay, and all those I'm guessing are your favorites.
Well, I make it every once in a while.
And all those I'm guessing are your favorites. Yeah, that's my whole thing. And that's one of my biggest issues in life. Especially now the freedom I have. Yeah, that's when I really like something, or if I enjoy like food, or going to a certain place, or say playing a video game which I've grown out of. But like, I don't have that structure from the outside and stop me from like overwhelming myself with it. So I'll do my favorite thing so often that it's like I just overwhelm myself with it and use it all up. I'll do my favorite thing so often that it's like I just overwhelm myself. You look at it backwards like that, it all makes sense.
The ultimate thing is
You look at it backwards like that, it all makes sense.
the ultimate special.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
That the Philadelphia Eagles are not the team we all believe them to be. That the Philadelphia they just Eagles are not the team. They're not the team we think they are. They're not the team that is just bum rushing over opponents the way they've been bum rushing.
Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub. official sandwich of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Get to 225.
I'd
That's
like
what
to
a
thank
flat
the following
top
sponsors
is.
for making this
You want to know what
broadcast possible.
happens once you bust
For
through
over
that
20
flat
years,
top?
Everguard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of MD Safety. MD Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. MD Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque. Are you Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yes, call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
With the Rich Eisen Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Jackson Dillon. Listen on your favorite
Traffic on Unser and the Paradise Boulevard intersection has been placed in all directions of Black Unser and Paradise Boulevard intersection as Universe Boulevard or Golf Course goes if you want to avoid that area. Also, traffic on Carlisle Boulevard lanes goes if you want to avoid water main break. Also, traffic on Carlisle Boulevard, Girard Boulevard or Washington Boulevard. This report is brought to you by Aloy Los Mundas. This report is brought to you by Aloy Los Mundas.
That's almost $8,000 off, plus get warranty forever.
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress. Make yourself at home.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard,
in the 96th Street News Radio,
serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold
Rollin' and high-low
subs.
at every 66 Casino Hotel. Every Friday,
Don't forget
Saturday,
about our
Sunday,
shakes,
January
malts and
6th
floats
to
made with
10
your favorite
p.m.
Bluebell ice cream.
Play every hour.
45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub.
Voted best dealers
official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque Magazine's 2024 listing. Come on out and enjoy. Roll in and high low for your chance at up to $2,000 in cash. Accepted 60 states.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you can be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answers to health questions. Get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com. Wesley Finance Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-242-1551. That's 800-242-1551. 800-242-1551.
They use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove. Controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King. Now that's a fire.
The vaporizing daytime coughing aching fever power 3 today medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use it direct to keep out of reach of children.
For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way with their sun-filled style.
We have a great selection of
Past the
vehicles,
vintage
including
glow
Tacomas.
of Route 66, built by generations past,
Can the Elves and
built
I
for
go to
generations to come.
Dealer inventory may vary.
This is New
Offers are
Mexico.
subject to change throughout Toyota
This
Sun, which ends on
is
January
Gallus.
6th. See your participating Toyota
I'm
dealer
David
for
C.
details.
Chavez, personal
Toyota,
injury attorney.
Mexico
For over
faces
4
Toyota
decades, our law
Albuquerque's
firm has
Santa Fe
remained
Toyota
steadfast in our
dealer
commitment to
today.
serving the
Let's
remarkable
go
people of
places.
New Mexico.
Are you ready for
that have
winter?
been
An
injured
aged
through
furnace
no
is more
fault
likely
of
to
their
give
own.
out, and it could
I'm
be
a
on a
New
cold
Mexican
winter night.
fighting
Daniels
for New
offers furnace
Mexicans.
inspections
I
and
received my
startups,
bachelor's
specializing
degree
in
at
furnace repair,
NMSU
replacement,
and
and
earned my
install,
law degree
offering a
at
wide variety
UNM.
of
I
high
can proudly say I'm
Daniels,
both
keeping your
an
family
Aggie
cozy and
and a
comfortable
Lobo.
this winter.
Call
Daniels
now
Plumbing,
and I
Heating,
will
and
meet with you
Conditioning
40 years
guarantees
strong,
customer
and we're
satisfaction
still
with
as local
plumbing,
as Red
heating,
and Green.
cooling, and AC, plus free estimates on replacements and installs. 898-8860.
You want it right today, get it done, Daniel's way, Daniel's and the number one. Cover it with green stuff.
Opening Drive is presented by Legend Sportsbook, Florida, New Mexico's best sportsbook.
My family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
This morning, Adrian back in the studio.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter
Right
of
now,
ProView Networks.
in the Michael Jordan era, is Patrick Mahomes blocking out? Is he gatekeeping the NFL Super Bowl trophy? Can the Buffalo Bills ever knock him off? You know, the Bills players, they got an interesting mindset about this whole thing. You know, you might think that they're getting impatient. They're not getting impatient at all. Josh Allen, he's sticking behind his quarterback. And I say one thing about Josh Allen, how much he's grown. If you want to talk about a quarterback that's on the right path, Lamar and Josh Allen both are very, very close to knocking Mahomes off his high horse. But they just can't do it yet. They can't figure it out. You know, and whenever things like this happen for a team like the Bills, you start looking different places to want to put the blame. You know, whose fault is this? Why can't we get over the hump? Is it Josh Allen? Is it the coach? That last loss moved the Josh Allen and Sean McDermott combo to 0-4 against the Chiefs in the playoffs. And Allen is not one of the doubters. During a Monday press conference in Buffalo, Allen said he is extremely confident, in quote, extremely confident, that McDermott can take the team to a championship. He says, this is going to sound weird. I'm just so proud of Coach. I don't know why he's not recognized more in the award stuff. That's the cruddy thing about it. But time in and time out, he's got us in position. We're fighting to get over that hump, and he gives his life to this. He's so committed to doing whatever it takes. The reason why McDermott is not getting the credit that Josh Allen maybe believes he should be getting, Josh Allen, that's because of you in the best way possible. No shade. That's because of you, my dude. You're Superman out there. You're Superman for the team. The play style, when you watch the Bills, they may have some good run schemes, but you don't ever watch the Bills and think, oh, boy, that's just an awesome. That coach, he's got those guys playing great. Oh, that coach has got them rolling. And maybe that's what Josh Allen's point is, that we should be giving him that credit. But unfortunately, we have eyes. Like, we have our eyes. We can see why the Buffalo Bills are the team that they are. And 80% of that is because of Josh Allen. And I do think he's able to beat Patrick Mahomes. I mean, let's look at the history of Josh Allen. This is a guy who, for the longest time, has been known for throwing interception after interception after interception. But at the same time, he's also going to throw some touchdown passes. So it always had him in the discussion as a top quarterback, but you never knew if you could trust him necessarily. You didn't know if he would take care of the football. This year, he took care of the football. He took care of the football this year. And you listen, I got some audio, I'll play it later. You listen to the way that they approached the game, and they approached the game like a very, very mature football team. And I think they played like a mature football team. You know, if you go listen to the audio after the Chiefs took out the Texans, and you listen to the Texans talk, those guys sound like they knew they had lost before the game started. You know, it sounds nice, and it makes them feel better to, after the game, say, oh, yeah, well, we knew going into this game that it was us versus the refs. It was us versus the stripes. No, we already knew coming into this game that we were going to have to fight against the refs, too. Okay, number one, shame on the coach for allowing that to be the energy in the locker room. I tell you, if there's one thing a coach should put his foot down about, if there's one thing a coach, I don't know the relationship with the Texans and their head coach, but let's just say he is a cool dad. Let's just say he is a player's guy, a locker room guy. If there's anything you need to be irate about as a head coach, it is walking through your locker room and hearing players acknowledge before the game, oh, yeah, well, we already know the refs are going to give them calls. You're handcuffing yourself. You're holding yourself back. You don't worry about the referees. The fans, trust me, social media is powerful enough. Let the fans do that. The commentators now are even starting to speak up. Tom Brady can't because of his contract, but the commentators are even starting to make comments about the referees, especially with the Chiefs. Trust me, the narrative has been pushed. The whole entire world is expecting the referees to give the Chiefs wins. But the one group of men who need to go numb to that reality is whoever is playing the Chiefs in the upcoming game. Whoever has the Chiefs on the schedule, they need to be the number one guys pretending that there is no referees that are going to be on the Chiefs side. Go out there and play your game. If you come into any game, oh, you already know what's going to happen no matter what we do. The refs are going to do this. The refs are going to do that. They're going to give Mahomes this. Then you've already lost. The game's been lost already.
Oh, I was just going to comment. Bad calls are part of the game.
They are.
You know, and so maybe there's one or two extra bad calls. But how many refs are there on the field?
I believe there's three or four.
And they have to watch 24 people?
22.
22? Yeah, it's just... so there's occasionally a bad call.
Yeah.
Live with it. Deal with it. Complain about it. But don't blame your loss on that.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. And in hindsight, it's even worse. So before the game, you don't want to come into the game with that mindset. But then after they lose, as Bob says, they're blaming the refs for it. They're saying, we already know we had to stop. Number one, it's not professional. Okay, I'd expect that out of high schoolers. or maybe even college players. But as professionals, you guys need to go into the game with a much better mindset. And coming up soon, I am going to play the audio, and you'll hear the tone and the voice of the Buffalo Bills players. And they're not sitting there super worried about the referees. They're focused about going in there and doing what they got to do. And yes, a lot of that could be because literally the Bills already beat the Chiefs. So the Bills had already beat the Chiefs. So mentally, maybe they weren't having to deal with that. But Bob does make an interesting point. Bad calls are part of the game, right? And that leads me into another interesting subject that I do really want to hit after the break. And that's on the NFL is planning to review quarterback slides when they're called as penalties. So if you hit a quarterback as he's sliding, those plays are now going to become reviewable, or at least allegedly it's being discussed that they're going to be reviewable. Now, my issue with that is don't just make the slides reviewable. I need to see pass interferences. I need to see illegal touching. I need to see other penalties, maybe not reviewable, but they need to be challengeable. Because when you say reviewable, that allows the refs to decide to stop the game to review something. And now you're dealing with the game being slowed down. But if a coach has to throw a challenge flag, then that is something that I believe should be allowed. I believe that's something that should be allowed. And I don't think that it should be the worst thing in the world or worry about slowing the game down, because you're allowing coaches to challenge more calls. Pass interference calls are, I don't know if there is a call that hurts more. I mean, we're talking, you could be at the 50-yard line, and if you throw a deep ball to the end zone and the ref calls pass interference, that team moves to the 1-yard line. That's basically giving them a touchdown. Pass interference calls are they have decided a lot. I want to say hundreds of football games over the years. So I want to talk about that and how the replay system should be moving forward. Right after the break, you're listening to The Opening Drive on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on
ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
This That's what it comes down to. Making sure that we're communicating, talking over what we like, what we don't like, make sure guys understand their spots and their roles, and just had a good week of practice. We'll fly out tomorrow and try to go execute on Sunday.
Okay, so what you just heard was Josh Allen, McDermott, some other Bills players before the Chiefs game. Number one, you don't hear them mentioning the referees. Okay, you don't hear them talking about the refs. You don't hear them talking about, any odds being set against them. They have the right mindset, in a way. And what I mean when I say in a way is because, they sound like Rocky getting ready to go against Drago. They sound like the JV squad getting ready to scrimmage against the varsity squad to get varsity ready for the first game. They sound like they are about to be 11 guys that are going to have to go against 15 for the Chiefs. Like it's 11 versus 15 at once. They sound like a team that has to overcome ridiculous odds. You hear Josh Allen talking about, we still have our dinners. We still have this. We don't overthink anything. Everyone's keeping the right mindset and we're making sure everything's cool and we're doing everything the same. And, and you lay down, it gets hard and you're overthinking and you try to keep so they can play a football game that they've been playing their whole entire lives. The reason why you have to go through all of that mentally is because this is not just a regular football team in the Kansas City Chiefs. They have instilled fear into the rest of the NFL. You've got guys giving themselves pep talks to stay calm and not overthink before the football game. You've got guys doing all types of mental health tricks to stay calm before the football game. You think the Kansas City Chiefs are doing any of that? Those guys are loose. They're probably playing the video game the morning of before walkthroughs. They're eating what they normally eat. They don't have that nervous feeling in their stomach that they have to force themselves to eat. That was my biggest issue with playing. I'd wake up and the game could be at 7:00. But the nervous energy in my stomach, the uncertainty of the future would eat at me. I'm an overthinker. So it'd eat at me, and I hated nighttime games. I hated afternoon games. I wanted to wake up, get it over with, so that I can then, the rest of my day, if it goes bad, I can recover and build myself back. And if it goes great, I can lay in the bed I've made. Quite literally when I get home.
Do you make your bed?
I'm
Is
bad.
that a competition?
I'm bad with that. Maybe if I was superstitious, I'll tell you what, growing up, I was always bad at making the bed. I grew up with my dad, close to both my parents, but I grew up with my dad. And he was usually gone. He would wake up early. He would run he'd run a route for Nestle. So he would distribute all the Nestle products to all the stores in the region, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So
the route.
Yeah, he ran a route. Those guys wake up early.
Yes, they do.
And it didn't matter the weather either. It didn't matter the weather. They got to get up and go. So many times I'd wake up and I'd run to the news channel like 5 a.m. and just look at the bottom of the screen and wait to see my county come across the bottom as canceled. I'd be so happy. And then I'd see him walk out and go to work. I'm like, it's negative. I was in Illinois. It's negative 25 degrees wind chill. What are you doing? I have to go to work.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Set a great example.
He set an incredible example. Like, there's nothing that I thought was too hard. When I got hurt back at New Mexico Highlands, when I dislocated my shoulder against Colorado School of Mines, dislocated my shoulder and tore my labrum. And that surgery was it was second most. I had 5 surgeries in 6 years. That eventually took me out of football. That one was real bad. And the recovery process was awful. And we had workouts at 5:30 in the morning. And Coach Hudson Albuquerque, he knows Coach Ron Hudson real well. When it came to like workouts and stuff, he wasn't going to let you just, oh, I'm hurt, so I'm just going to sleep in and stay home. No, you had to get up. And if you can't run, you're going to wait on the sideline and you're going to be with your team. So what I would do is I would have to go to therapy, physical therapy, before conditioning. Conditioning was at 5:30 a.m. This is also February we're talking about. So conditioning at 5:30 a.m., but I had to go to physical therapy, so I had to be in the trainers at 4:30 a.m. in February. Freezing cold outside, 4:30 a.m., which means I had to wake up at 4.
Yeah.
And then walk over because God forbid you were late on Coach Hudson's team. It was the worst decision you could make. Walk over to the training room at 4:15. And I would just think in the back of my head, like, Dad had to do worse. Like, I watched Dad do worse. I know this is possible because I've seen it. But then I figured out a cheat code, and that was just hopping in a cold shower. Hop in that cold shower, as much as it sucks. You hop in that cold shower first thing in the morning. Everything else is not nearly as bad. But anyways, back to my point.
Okay. I'll quit distracting you.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. I got stories for days. But my point is, mentally, the Buffalo Bills were treating the Kansas City Chiefs like it was David versus Goliath. So although they did a good job at keeping themselves calm, I think they still gave the Chiefs a mental edge over them in a different way. It may have been in a way that didn't have them feeling anxious and having bricks in their stomach, but they looked at them like, okay, these guys are so good that we have to make sure we do everything correct and stay calm. And no, just go out and play your game completely. Josh Allen may have been calm. I mean, Dalton Kincaid, I think the pressure got to him. If you even look at the first drive of that game, Josh Allen, 2 of his first 3 passes should have been intercepted. And when I say should have been intercepted, I mean hit a guy straight in the chest. So he had to settle in a little bit, but I'm not going to sit here and blame this loss on Josh Allen. I'm not even going to sit here and blame this loss on Dalton Kincaid, and neither are his teammates. You know, I got here in my notes, Dalton Kincaid has received online backlash for his role. His teammates quickly offered their support, with many noting that a number of things could have changed the outcome of the game. Josh says, I got to be better for him. I didn't feel like I put him in good enough situations this year, ball placement wise. He can sit there and think about that play over and over, but I got to be better for him. That's what it comes down to, and get him more involved. Kincaid says, just an opportunity for a play to be made and just couldn't make the play. This is talking about at the end of the game, the Buffalo Bills, 3.5 minutes left. The Chiefs have now taken the lead 32-29. The Bills are trying to get down the field, and Josh Allen off his back foot throws a remarkable pass. A great pass, especially when you consider the pressure that was in his face, the weather, the timing. Delivers a strike down the field off his back leg to Dalton Kincaid, who tries to make a diving catch, and the ball bounces right off his forearms, and that ultimately sealed the win for the Chiefs. And Kincaid seems that he's not beating himself up too much about it. Dawson Knox says, watching that play back, I mean, he's running full speed in one direction. Josh had 3 guys in his face and had to just throw up a pop fly. And Dalton had to completely change directions and dive for the ball. The fact he even got contact on the ball is impressive, first of all. I told him we wouldn't have even been in that game if he wasn't on this team. What he brings to this offense, the incredible weapon he is, I don't know if we would have won the division without him. The Bills, I believe the Bills are going to be the team that ultimately is able to knock off the Chiefs. I just don't know when. But they've got their coaches back. Their quarterback, even after the game, even during the game, you look at him, he was unfazed. I think they have the right leader. I think they have got the right locker room culture. As a Cowboys fan, man, I wish I could say my team had good culture. They've got the right culture, no finger pointing. You know, their loss was nothing like we saw the Ravens lose. The Ravens, I think, might have some locker room issues. But not the Bills. Not the Bills. They're backing up their quarterback. They're backing up their coach. And I do think they're going to come back again. I just don't know what they can do because, again, I reiterate, I fully expect the Chiefs to be better next year. Quarterback sliding rule put in place or not. Okay. Penalties or not, refs on their side or not, the Chiefs are going to continue getting better. Mahomes is in that LeBron stage. I see him as being more of a LeBron. He's in that LeBron stage right now where you're asking yourselves, how can this guy get better? Right? Remember LeBron when he was in Cleveland before he went to Miami? How can this guy get any better? Is it possible? And then he developed a jump shot. And then he actually got some mental toughness and became clutch. And then his jump shot got better and better and better. Mahomes is going to find ways to get better. I mean, the guy, when you look at him, he's by no means like some type of world-class athlete, but he knows how to move. What if he decides to just get fit? What if he decides, what if one offseason he just comes in 20 pounds lighter and more muscular? He's like, yeah, I'm doing this so that I can avoid pressure more to prolong my career. Then we're all in for a long one. I say it again. Peyton Manning didn't get to his first Super Bowl until he's about 30. Mahomes is halfway there to 30 as far as the 20s are concerned. He's like 25, 26. He's been to 5 of them. The NFL is in for a long one. If you're an AFC quarterback, I feel awful for you because the NFC, we get one chance to get a swing at him, and that's if he can get there. If you're an NFC quarterback, he's got to get there first, and then you get one big swing at him. In the AFC, you've got to beat them before he gets there. So there is no resting. There is no taking your foot off the gas pedal in the AFC Championship game. If you're going to catch them lacking, you got to catch them lacking in the Super Bowl. They're locked in the AFC Championship game. So the Bills, the Ravens, the Chargers, I know they believe that they're going to get one at some point within the next 4 or 5 years. They have to believe so. And you got the Broncos who just came out of nowhere. And those are 4 teams. Those are 4 quarterbacks that I believe will be good enough to win a Super Bowl, and they may not ever get the chance because Patrick Mahomes is taking over the NFL, and he's taking over the AFC, and he's not even close to 30 years old yet. So that is what the future of the NFL is looking like. When we get back, you guys know I'm a Cowboys fan. I know you're waiting to hear me go on about them. Some of you are, some of you aren't. I promise I won't drown you in Cowboys news, although I could, and the urges tell me to. But I'm a people pleaser, right? I like to give the people what they want. You know, Bob, over there the other day on Friday, I filled in for Eric Strauss from KKOB.
Yes, you did. That was a trip.
So just imagine, I get to the radio station at the age of 25. I'm just producing games at first. And then when I do get on there, my whole mantra is supposed to be Cowboys. It's supposed to be a Cowboys guy. I'm going to get on there and talk about Dallas Cowboys. And they decide to suck all year. All right? They decide to suck all year in a boring fashion. In a way that no one even cared to watch or talk about them. So then I start talking about other teams. And then Fred and Van dragged me into baseball. So now I'm into baseball. I've gotten up to pace on my Lobos. And I just conquer all these sports topics. And then they throw me over there on KKOB from 6 to 8 on a Friday night. And I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? And Brandon Vogt, he's telling me, you know, my co-host on Sundays, DC, Dale Cornelius, he's like, yeah, I'm going to bring Dale in, and you guys are just going to do your tailgate talk. I'm like, all right.
That'll fly well.
Yeah, I'm like, I've heard a KKOB host before do a segment on sports, and the phone lines were not happy. About 3 callers I could not put on air were not happy about the sports talk. So I knew it was coming. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to last. I'm sitting there in the back of my mind. I'm like, this is not going to last long. I'm telling everybody, I'll do sports. And I wait. And they say, don't check the text line. It's whatever you do, don't check the text line. As an athlete, you need the criticism. That's what you need. You need to hear what you're doing wrong. You need to look it in the face, look in the mirror, fix it. And I looked at those text lines, and as I predicted, they did not want to hear sports talk. So I said, all right, you know what? You want to hear what a 27-year-old who just got to Albuquerque a year ago has got to say about politics here? Let's do it. I'll give you guys what you want. We can dive into politics. And the second hour went great.
Okay, yeah, but by then, how much of the audience was lost?
Oh, it was I had like 15 callers.
Okay.
And that's no exaggeration.
Well,
about 15. I had a bunch of people. The first hour, none.
Yeah.
Unless they were angry.
Yeah. What a surprise.
Yeah. But I told them about 40 minutes into the show, I said, I'm going to give you guys what you want. Is that what you guys want? All right, fine. I'll give it to you. And the phone lines were blowing up. The text lines were saying, great job, great show. And I thought, yeah, don't put my back against the wall because I'll figure it out. Always. Always, always, always. But when we get back, we're going to talk some Dallas Cowboys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Zay Johnson, Bob Walpole producing, Adrian back in the studio on the visuals at ProView. You're listening to The Opening Drive on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action turned it on. ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Talking Chiefs, Bills. We are going to dive into this Super Bowl matchup later on in the program, but I wanted to throw these numbers out real quick to wrap up a bow on the Patrick Mahomes glazing we've been doing here this morning. But is it really glazing? Take a look at this. Mahomes' playoff career wins 17, second place, all time. Total touchdowns, 50, second place, all time. Game-winning drives, 7, second place, all time. Fourth quarter comebacks, 6 of them. Guess what place he is? Second, all time. Super Bowl MVPs, he's got 3 of them, tied for second. Super Bowl appearances, he's tied for second. And Super Bowl wins, he's tied for 4th. And guess who is number 1 in every single category? Tom Brady. So outside of Tom Brady, Mahomes is already second in every single playoff stat except for Super Bowl wins, and he's not even close to the age of 30. The NFL better buckle up and figure out something to do to stop Mahomes, and I hope it's not going to be the penalty sliding rule. But when we get back in the second hour, we will dive in to the Cowboy Corner, and I will discuss my feelings about Brian Schottenheimer and what I expect from this Cowboys team moving forward. And don't worry, I won't be the Debbie Downer. I will be optimistic, as you know I do the best. So stay tuned, Cowboys fans and Cowboys haters. We got Cowboy Corner when we get back in the second hour. You're listening to The Opening Drive on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name
For the NFL, the Super Bowl, the NCAA tournament, and the Final Four. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Zimbietta and JJ Buck.
Welcome back to the opening drive. I'm Zay Johnson, Bob Walpo, and producing for me.
You know, Zay, I keep telling you, I don't read lips. I'm not. I think I know what you were trying to tell to me.
Yeah. You know,
you want me to have that clip ready.
Yeah, well, I wish I wish the talkback worked. That'd be really smooth.
Yeah.
You know, I think we deserve extra points for putting together such a good show with no talkback.
Well, we could always use our phones.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
It works too. Well, I'm old school, Bob. You know I'm old school. I don't like using cell phones.
Yep.
I hate using my cell phone, but I tell you what. You know, it's old school. Brian Schottenheimer, new coach for the Cowboys.
Good segue.
It's my specialty. Brian Schottenheimer. Look here. I've already hit my rock bottom, okay? I've already hit my rock bottom. So when I speak positively about this hire, I don't need anybody thinking I'm delusional, because for those who are sports animal fans, you know that I'm very, very transparent and realistic when it comes to my Cowboys. Actually, as a matter of fact, the last time I sat behind this microphone, I was bashing my Cowboys. But look, all the negative things I could say about the hire have already been said by everyone else. Literally any sports media member, every single one, every single Cowboys fan, every single NFL fan, we all felt the same way initially. And what I kept hearing from my fellow Cowboy fans, I'm climbing up the ranks on Cowboy Twitter. All right, some of the top Cowboy Twitter guys, I'm climbing up the ranks. I got a follow back from Des Bryant, right? And I'm getting there. I got some of the media members. They're starting to hear me out here. And what they're all telling me, what they were telling me beforehand, is just don't worry. Once we hear him talk, once we hear what his philosophies are, once we get a deeper look at this guy, we will feel differently about him. And no one's trying to hear that when they're upset. You know what I mean? No one's trying to hear that. It's like being in the store as a kid and you want the candy bar, but your parents like, no, we got candy at home. Or when we get home, I'll make you cookies. No, I want that cookie. I want the cookie that's hot and ready right here in the store. I don't want to wait till we get home for you to make cookies. But who knows? Maybe the homemade cookies are way better than the cookie you wanted at the store. It may not have the shine and the sprinkles on it. But what if it's better? What if it's better? What if the homemade cookie is better? And to even make my analogy more accurate, the Cowboys chose the homemade cookie, the guy who was already in office, the guy who was already in the organization. They went with the homemade cookie. They didn't go for the flashiness. You know what's so shocking about that to me? Is Jerry Jones, he's fooling the guys on his side and he's fooling the people against him. It's super cliche and super easy to sit back and say, oh, Jerry just cares about making money. He just cares about making headlines. He literally just chose the most boring candidate out of the whole entire coaching cycle. Matter of fact, Schottenheimer wasn't even in the coaching cycle. The Cowboys were the only team that wanted him as a head coach. If Jerry Jones is so caught up in making the headlines and making the money, why wouldn't he have gone and got a Deion Sanders? Why didn't he go get a Pete Carroll? Why didn't he fire Mike McCarthy earlier in the season and go after a Bill Belichick if all he cares about is money and the headlines? And you say, oh, he wants a puppet. He wants power. I hear you. I hear you. That point stands true. But no one says that Jerry wants the power more than he wants the money, which although that could be evident now, or maybe he's just got enough money, so he just wants to make sure he keeps the power. But Deion Sanders, if Jerry Jones is truly the media marksman that we all say he is, he would have got Deion. The move he made was very, very odd, and I've said this a million times. Phone lines 505-246-0610. You call in if you got an answer to this one. Has there ever been a more shocking coaching hire? Like, all things considered. I don't just mean a big name going to a team. I mean, like, shocking. Like, what are you doing type of coaching hire. I know earlier I noted I was a huge Lakers fan. I think anybody who listens to me now knows I'm a Lakers fan. Was heavier on the Lakers back when Kobe was playing. I'll never forget when the Lakers were looking for a new head coach and Phil Jackson was getting talks of coming back. This is when Kobe was older, so this is after the Mike Brown era. This is after all that nonsense. Phil Jackson came back and was willing to coach the Lakers again. He was willing to coach Kobe again. Phil Jackson was willing to be the coach of Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, and Dwight Howard. And the Lakers gave him an interview. All of the NBA world was expecting them to hire Phil Jackson. And I woke up at 6:25 a.m. for school the next morning to see that they chose Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni, the failed Phoenix Suns coach at the time, who had guys running up and down the court at ridiculous speeds, which is fine, but the Lakers had an old roster. Kobe was in his 17th season at the time. Something crazy. Yeah, it was 17th season. And you choose Mike D'Antoni over Phil Jackson when Phil was willing to come back? All because you wanted him to travel to all the games. You didn't want to let him stay back in LA for some of the games because he was getting older and didn't want to do all the traveling. And they still told him no and chose Mike D'Antoni. Brian Schottenheimer over Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, Deion Sanders. This might be that type of level of shocking. But I tell you what, he was saying all the right things. And Jerry has done an oddly good job at convincing us, fans, that this may have been the right hire. All things considered, Schottenheimer was saying the right things. Look, I can only speak for myself. I've got a YouTube channel where I usually do all my cowboy venting. It's called Zay Talks 824. Please like and subscribe anytime you get the chance. Zay Talks 824. My birthday's August 24th. Kobe wore 8 and 24. Of course, you got to put 824 on there. Anyways, I'm on there venting about the Cowboys for the past year and a half. And one thing I have been preaching, and I've actually been preaching this since long before I ever thought I would be able to talk into a microphone. I was an offensive lineman growing up in football. I like running the football. I want to slow the game down, run the football, play action pass off the run. The best teams I've ever been on could run the football. The best Cowboy teams I've ever seen could run the football. The best quarterback seasons I have seen as a Cowboys fan have been when we could run the football. And if we go historically with Troy Aikman, they could run the football. Robert Staubach, he had Tony Dorsett. Every single Super Bowl winning Cowboy team has had a generational Hall of Fame running back. It's just that simple. So as the league switched to pass heavy, I couldn't stand it. I'm constantly screaming at the TV, run the ball, run the ball. Why are we in empty on 1st and 10? At least have a running back in the backfield. And Schottenheimer says that he wants to get back to that play style. He refers to when he was the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. They led the league in rushing twice. He talks about the influence Pete Carroll had on him. He says, look, I want the run and the pass to look the same. That's what he said. He said, I want to run the ball and pass off the run. And then even in a second interview, when asked, what's your first thing you want to get going for this team? He says, look, first off, it's the running game. Okay? And it doesn't take a genius, especially for my Cowboys fans. We don't got to be geniuses to know that Rico Dowdle, he ain't it. Rico Dowdle is not it. He's not going to get us to where we want to go. And you say, oh, we've got offensive line issues. We got other issues. We got other things to worry about than just the running back. Okay, so if there's so many things to worry about, why wouldn't you just go get the best player? If your offensive line has holes in it and you guys are struggling to open up the running lanes, doesn't that mean you probably need the best running back? You need the best one. If your offensive line is struggling, that means you need to go get the best running back. In my mind, it's common sense. These are the things that Schottenheimer wants to do. He says that he even had a little deal with Dak Prescott in the training camp last year. He told Dak, look, you throw an interception, you're coming out. You're coming out of the game. What was my biggest issue with McCarthy? And I was screaming this into the camera, into the microphone. There's no discipline for the players. There needs to be a rule set in stone. If you jump off sides, you got to come out the game. If you don't come out the game, you need to go run sprints or something in practice. Maybe there's a player-led rule where you have to pay a fine or of some sort. I think fines for penalties should 100% be allowed. Pre-snap penalties. Offsides, false starts. Like, you are a professional football player. There's no excuse for it. Jumping out, that's straight discipline. That's focus. If you really don't want to jump off sides, if you are truly disciplined and conditioned to not have false starts, it won't happen. You know, they say, oh, there's penalties in every play in football. There's holding on every play. That's correct. Okay, just playing physical, a referee could call you for that. But jumping off sides, getting a false start, that's not an excusable penalty. You should be able to fine the players, a team enforced, or player enforced, because I think team enforced would be illegal. The culture I would want is, look, you get a false start and you cost us, you got to do something. Okay, and Schottenheimer, if he did that with Dak Prescott as the offensive coordinator, I get the idea that maybe he's going to implement something like that with the rest of the team. You know, that could be something positive. I know other coaches do it. Look, you hop off sides, you're getting yanked right away. As soon as you hop off sides, look at the sideline because you know your replacement's coming. But right now, Jerry, I don't know if he's delusional. I don't know what's going through his mind. I don't know if he wants to win. I don't know if it's money he wants. I don't know if it's headlines he wants. Brian Schottenheimer is not a headliner. So me being convinced that Jerry just wants to be number one in the news and that's all he cares about, that's out the window, or else we would have Dion. We know it's not about winning. I don't know what Jerry's doing. But Jerry did call Adam Schefter on his phone to announce the news. And I have that audio, and I'm going to play that for you when we come back after the break. And we'll have one more segment on the Cowboys and what I expect moving forward, and we're going to wrap up the Cowboy talk. Okay, I'm not going to drown you guys in the Cowboy talk, although I'd love to. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world, and I want to make sure I touch on it all and show the diversity I have when it comes to sports. So when we get back after the break, we got a little bit more Cowboys, and then we are going to hit on some other things going on. We got Jimmy Butler. We got the Super Bowl coming up. We got Saquon taking over, and then you switch over to the NBA, and we've got Anthony Davis taking shots at Wemby. All that and more when we get back after the break. You're listening to The Opening Drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
My name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sound. Sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9540.
How awesome
Evergard Roofing
is that?
and
I mean,
Solar,
just as far as a
proud
tribute to
supporters of
Mort.
ProView Sports Network and New
Gotta love
Mexico
Mort.
Youth
I don't know if
Athletics.
Jerry did that intentionally. We might be giving him a little bit too much credit. But how, so what's going through this guy's mind? So he is, he's not just somebody who's there just completely delusional. I mean, he calls Adam Schefter And he goes on for however long talking about how Brian Schottenheimer is just an offensive coordinator and, he's not a head coach. And, why is the media talking about this and that? And then at the end of the phone call, he says, oh, but now he's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Like, what is going through Jerry's mind? I have absolutely no clue. No idea whatsoever. What could be going through Jerry's mind? It confirms that he is playing a game on us a little bit, and he understands that this is a very underwhelming hire, but he's making the point that is why it's risky. He's saying it's risky because of how bad of a hire it is.
Well, yeah, but you're never a head coach until you become one.
Yes.
Yeah, there's always the first time that you're the head coach. So this was Schottenheimer's time, and Jerry thought it was the best pick, apparently.
Yeah, I hope.
Maybe there's some other underlying reason that we don't know about.
Which could, with Jerry, could be likely.
Really?
Yeah. Tell me about it. No, and I understand. I think the issue with Schottenheimer is the fact that he's been in the league for so long but hadn't been one yet. Like, it's not like he was a head coaching candidate and the Cowboys decided to hire him. They went on a coaching search and then were like, let's just hire the guy that's already here. I'm like, I guess. As far as Schottenheimer's concerned, he said some of the right things. I've got some audio that Schottenheimer, from his press conference, and I said earlier he spoke on things he wanted to do with the offense. And I pulled the audio. This is what I liked about Schottenheimer. Listen to this clip here. They go hand in hand. He couldn't have said it any better. The run game and the pass game, they go hand in hand. He's not wrong at all. Now, the issue, as I spoke earlier, is that the Cowboys have Rico Dowdle at running back. And Schottenheimer does not pick the players. We know that about the Cowboys for sure. The players are picked by Jerry, Steven, and Will McClay, the draft analysis. So Schotty's going to need help. And Stephen Jones said something that was worth pulling also. Stephen Jones is ultimately, he's not in charge of the Cowboys, but he's the heaviest influence on Jerry. And in order for anything to work around there, Stephen's got to sign off on it also. And the Cowboys in the past have been ridiculed the heaviest for their activity in free agency and not doing anything in free agency, which puts them in a terrible position when it comes to draft time. So take a listen to what Stephen Jones had to say about what he's planning to do moving forward to handle the Cowboys free agency.
But certainly we'll do a real deep dive on putting some personnel together, whether it be through the draft, free agency. I know, typically that's not been the way we've done this team, but we'll certainly look at it and, put really good, not only players, but good football character people with some of the men we have in.
I hope so, Stephen. I'll believe it when I see it. I got to see it to believe it. Last year, Jerry told us he was all in and then literally did nothing. And the question he was asked is like, hey, Stephen, you got the Eagles and Commanders just played in the NFC Championship game. You got the Kansas City Chiefs going back to their Super Bowl again. You guys have said multiple times that you didn't want to use their methods because it wasn't sustainable. And now they are back in the Super Bowl once again. Is there any part of you that wants to take what the Eagles have done and maybe apply it to yourself? And his response was, yeah, you certainly look at other things, and moving forward, we would like to put ourselves in position to draft the best player available. He mentions when they drafted CeeDee Lamb. Look, when the Cowboys got CeeDee Lamb, we had Amari Cooper. We didn't need CeeDee Lamb. But the roster was built in such a way through free agency and trades. The roster was built to the point where we could grab the best player available, who was CeeDee Lamb at the time. And we see how that's worked out for the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, top 3 receiver. Argue with your mama about it. CeeDee Lamb's top 3. So, moving forward, if the Cowboys can put themselves in position to draft the best player available, that'd be great. I know they need a receiver. Go get a receiver in free agency. We got plenty of receivers in free agency, plenty of defensive linemen in free agency, plenty of offensive linemen in free agency. But what's not in free agency is an Ashton Genty. We missed that train already. We missed the Saquon Barkley train. We missed the Derrick Henry train, the Josh Jacobs. We missed it. We didn't do anything. So right now, we have to get that through the draft, and it's just that simple. And with that being said, that's going to put a wrap on the Cowboys talk. I'm not going to go on too long about it. We will sit back and we'll wait and see if Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones decide to get active in free agency. I would be surprised, pleasantly surprised, if that was to happen. I'll be jumping up and down just like the rest of the Cowboy Nation. At the end of the day, we are all on the same side, and the world wants us to fail. The world wants the Cowboys to fail even more so than the Chiefs. If the Chiefs and Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, some people would just spontaneously combust. They wouldn't know what to do. Their heads would explode. It'd be almost as hard as choosing the winner for this Super Bowl, because the Chiefs and the Eagles aren't liked much more. The Eagles are also widely hated. So it'll be a lot of what we got coming up soon. And we are going to hit on the Super Bowl matchup when we get back from the break, because I want to discuss which team needs this win more. Is it the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, or is it Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? You're listening to The Opening Drive right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
And we got Super Bowl coming up. You know, we're actually the only station that can say the word Super Bowl. Everyone else has to say the big game. Like, ha, 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 ha. You guys can't say Super Bowl. It's all fun and games, ESPN, until the Super Bowl comes along and you guys can't say it. Nah, all jokes aside, Super Bowl, the big game, whatever you want to call it, it's coming up. And we've got the Eagles versus the Chiefs, the rematch. And I'm sure America's split right down the middle on who we want to win this one. Cowboys fan, no shot in the world I want the Eagles to win. I want the Eagles to lose so bad that it actually altered who I wanted to win the Chiefs-Bills game. You know, I think the Bills have a better chance of scoring with the Eagles, but I thought the Chiefs would have the best chance to slow down Saquon. Right now, who are the favorite? Who's the favorite? Who does Vegas pick to win this one? And as of right now, the Chiefs are 1.5-point favorites as the line's opened. But some sports books are slowly moving the line in favor of the Eagles after they blew out the Commanders. So right now, the Chiefs are favored. Money line is Chiefs minus 130, Eagles plus 110. And the over-unders are 49.5. And that's an interesting one. So this game's going to be played in Louisiana. You know, weather would have a factor, obviously, in that over-under 49.5. I think I like the over on that. It's a Super Bowl. You're leaving everything out there. You got two high-powered offenses. I fully expect there to be some points scored. But who needs this game more? You know, who needs this Super Bowl win more? And I know it's bad radio to say both equal, but this is about as equal as it could get. And I think it's for different reasons on both sides. For the Eagles, number one, you've already lost to the Chiefs. Okay, you've already lost the matchup. So that alone, you feel like you have to get this one. You don't know how often you can get back. It's hard to get to a Super Bowl. You know, the Lions may not be 9 players down next year like they were this year. They're down 2 coordinators, which would be a big deal. But if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, there's no guarantee you're going to get back to this spot. I know it's the second time in 3 years, but, you know, you've got players that are going to want to get paid. As you just saw with the Lions or the Cowboys even, the injury bug is alive and well, and it bites a different team every year. So you want to get this one because you've already lost to the Eagles. That's point number one. Point number two, Nick Sirianni, whether it be deserved or not deserved, he's been on the hot seat. I think a big reason he's been on the hot seat is because Eagles fans feel like they're winning in spite of Nick Sirianni. No one really knows what he does. But I tell you what, I bet the players love him. He keeps them riled up. He keeps them going. You know, I saw Jalen Hurts walking off the field this last game. You know, obviously it was a snow game. He's walking off the field and the little drone, the camera angle switched to the drone that was looking over, you know, the top of the stadium. And you see Jalen Hurts starting to walk towards the sideline. And Nick Sirianni's the first guy sprinted from about 30 yards away with a coat and puts it on Jalen Hurts' back. Number one, we all know he's got a boy crush on Jalen Hurts. He loves his quarterback. He loves his quarterback. I think he actually really wants to be Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is like who Sirianni always wished he was. And now he just so happens to be in position where he's coaching him. So he's like, okay, I got to stop and be in charge of this guy. But, man, I love this guy. Everything he does is just flawless. The way he walks, the way he talks, the way he throws the football. I just love Jalen Hurts. I bet Nick Sirianni's got a picture of Jalen Hurts on his bedstand. Wouldn't shock me. Nick Sirianni runs over, puts a coat on his back. Nick Sirianni, he loves his players. One of the scariest guys in the league right now is Jalen Carter. It's his second year, defensive lineman from Georgia. Just everything about him is intimidating. His size, he's got to be 6'5", 285 pounds, 300, I'm sure. Athlete, he's mean. He's got a temper. Some games he's seen laughing in the face of guys. Other games he's seen crying because he's so upset. Other games, he's ready to fight. We've seen every possible emotion that a human can have out of Jalen Carter on national television. So you want an example of somebody who can't control their emotions. You show all those emotions on national television in front of your football team in the middle of a game. Yeah, you're struggling to keep a temper. And it's no secret to anybody that Jalen Carter is the head case. He's a controlled freak. Literally, he's a controlled freak. And sometimes, especially the defensive lineman, this is the best thing you can be. Know when to turn it on, know when to turn it off. When Jalen Carter has those meltdowns on the sideline, guess who the first guy is? When even you got players that are like, okay, let me back up off him before he punches me in the jaw. Let me back off him. Sirianni's the number one guy that bum rushes and gets in Carter's face and says, hey, come over here. Let's talk. Calm down. Next drive. Relax. Things like that matter. The Philadelphia Eagles have a general manager who does not think twice when it comes to putting guys in his team. If he sees a guy can play football, he's not thinking about, oh, how will this fit in the locker room? How will this work with the coach? He's like, look, throw everybody in. Throw all the talent together. Let's figure it out. And Sirianni is a good coach for that situation because you need somebody that can steer the ship. When things go south, east, west, north, you need a coach that can keep everybody focused on the mission. And I believe that keeping a defensive line like Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, both those guys together, you keep those guys sane and able and stable, you deserve a tip of the hat. And Nick Sirianni has been on the hot seat. And as unfair as it may be, if the Eagles get to this, they already got to the Super Bowl. But if they end up getting there twice in 3 years and lose both of them, as much as you can say, oh, great job, Sirianni. Coaches want their whole life to get to a Super Bowl. And you got to two of them in 3 years. Why is he on the hot seat? Some people in Philly believe they're winning in spite of Sirianni. So it's really, really important for the Eagles that they win to save Sirianni. And lastly, why I think it's really important for Philadelphia is the legacy of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts right now, the notion with him is that he gets carried. You can't say he doesn't. But you also can't just say he does, right? He's right there in the middle. He's like kind of right around where Russell Wilson was when he had the Legion of Boom and Marshawn Lynch and Tyler Lockett and all those guys. Remember Russell Wilson? You're like, okay, is this guy truly that good or is his team just that good? Or Brock Purdy? Is it him or is it his team? With Jalen Hurts, he's also in that same situation. So not only is it important for him that he gets a Super Bowl ring, because, look, as an NFL player, you can be told that you're carried. You can be told that you're not good enough. You can be told that you got lucky. You can be told that the refs helped you out. But once you win that Super Bowl, you don't care anymore. You literally don't care what anyone has to say. Look at Jason Tatum. You think people care that he gets told he sucks? Or that he didn't get the finals MVP? No, because he won the finals. If Jalen Hurts gets that ring, he could care less if he's carried or not. So it's really important for Jalen Hurts that he wins that Super Bowl. And those are my top 3 reasons why I think Philly needs to win. Now, when we come back after the break, I'm going to give you my reasons as to why I believe Kansas City needs to win. And the phone lines are open, 505-246-0610. If you think you know which side deserves or should or needs to win this game more, feel free to call in and let me know your thoughts. You're listening to The Opening Drive. I'm Zay Johnson, Bob Walpole producing on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
And B12. We're wrapping up the second hour on the opening drive. Mud wants Lobo talk. I'm sorry, Mud. Look, one thing about the show, if you want to hear Lobos, I would love to talk Lobos with you guys. But a lot of you know more Lobos than me, right? 505-246-0610. Call in. We can chat about anything on your mind. Anything you want to hear about is on your mind. I do know the Lobos are taking on Utah State February 1st at 7:30. ESPN has got a 74% chance that Utah State wins, and we love that. Lobo fans, we love that. We love being doubted, and we love defying the odds. So that will be a fun game coming up because I believe we're going to win. The Lobos are giant slayers this year. They're giant slayers. I think Pitino's going to come in with the right mindset, and they're going to get things done. But when we come back in the next hour, we are going to hop over to college basketball, but we got another little bit of a malice in the palace. Huge fight broke out between VCU and St. Louis. We're going to touch on that and also some Anthony Davis versus Wembanyama Defensive Player of the Year talk when we get back. In the third hour of the opening drive, you're listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Next in line,
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
The third and final hour of the opening drive, getting ready to wrap this bad boy up. My Lobo fans, I just like saving the best for last. That's all. I just like saving the best for last. You guys know I love the Lobos. I'm the guy right after the state loss. I said, hey, pump the brakes. Got a good coach. I heard him talk. I know how to decode coach words. I knew he'd get them in order, and he did. They lost another tough one. Pump the brakes. Everything will be just fine. And it was just fine. After they beat San Jose State, it was known that Donovan Dent was the one who walked down the aisles. Like, look, everything's going to be cool. Relax. We've been here before. We can do this. And what has he done since? He's balled out. They blow out Boise State. They blow out Fresno State. A tough one versus UNLV, but that's exactly what you want. You want your team to be battle-tested. And now they do get ready to take on Utah State. Utah State's 18-2. Lobos are 17-4. This is going to be a big one. It's on Fox Sports 1. ESPN's only giving the Lobos a 25.9% chance to win. I want you guys, you Lobo fans who take things personally like I do, I want you guys to keep that number in your mind so that when the Lobos become victorious, you can think back and say, oh, they said we only had a 25% chance to win. Because, you know, wins like that, they feel a lot better. You know, everyone, when your team wins, you got that natural feel-good feeling about your day. You know, you walk with a little bit more confidence. You handle stress a little bit better. Anything that's on your mind, it just seems easier to sort out because your team won. But when they are underdogs and they beat a team that ESPN is saying is better than them, 74% chance to win, oh, this one's going to feel great. This one's going to feel awesome. It'll be at 7:30 p.m., so it's going to send you to sleep with a nice smile on your face. Great smile on the face. And that's going to be a Saturday. So on Saturday night, you get to kick off your Saturday night with a Lobos victory. You better believe it. Speaking of college basketball, we had an interesting situation last night. And funny thing about it is I was watching the St. Louis VCU game. You know, I knew I had to come in this morning and get the show ready. So I was just watching some basketball, keeping my brain fresh, and I turned it off before this happened. Take a listen to what took place. VCU versus St. Louis, Malice in the Palace, Part 2. Someone's not happy in the crowd. For those on stream, I know who can't listen. Commentators are commentating a brawl in the crowd. Okay, Bob, we can go ahead and crank it down there. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So we had a brawl, and it was mostly crowd this time. You know, beforehand, it was with a Malice in the Palace, huge players swinging on fans. But this one was mostly, it was all fans. I don't know what could have happened. You know, the worst part about it all is when you realize, like, these are all adults.
Well, maybe.
For them old enough.
They got really into it, and they just lost it. And you know what should happen is they should get banned from the stadium.
Oh, yeah, that's a guarantee.
If not all NBA games.
Yeah.
Or,
college basketball games.
College basketball. You know, like, what was the fan in baseball a couple of weeks ago?
Did they grab the player's arm?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been banned.
Yes.
And that's what should happen to these folks.
Yeah.
Or at least the two that started it.
Yeah. I don't know how it started, what was said, but again, you got a room full of adults. I guess you think they're adults. And that crowd, I mean, as far as the people I saw, I hope they're all adults, or there's going to be some hard charges coming down to a lot of those guys. If they weren't all adults and one of those guys is in there fighting a minor, he's cooked. You can say bye-bye to your job.
Yeah.
Whatever job you have that allowed you to get the tickets, it's gone. I've never understood fighting, number one, let alone fighting in public. I am such a non-aggressive person to the point where, like, it was hard for me to get myself in that mode for a football game. Like, I'd get in the stance and I'd look at the guy across from me like, this guy's just on scholarship like me. This guy just wants to make plays, to make money for his family like me. I don't need to convince myself to hate this guy. You got grown adults not even on the team. I understand if you're in the game and one guy shoves you in emotions. You guys are in the crowd. There's no type of verbal argument that could go on. There's nothing that could verbally be said to me. And I say nothing, I mean nothing. There's nothing that could verbally be said to me to get me to want to throw hands or fight or go back and forth. I know not everyone's wired that way, but I mean, geez, I guess maybe there's some beers involved.
You think?
So they're going to go ahead and blame it on the alcohol. I mean, that's not cliche at all. Make a bad decision, blame it on the alcohol. I mean, you had the whole game come to a standstill. It was 63-69 with forgot exactly how much time was left in there. You had the whole game stop because a bunch of grown adults can't handle themselves. Or if you want to say handle their liquor, you can say that too. As a security guard on the weekends, trust me, I've seen plenty of that. So I understand. But also one thing, like when it comes to people that have been drinking, I've noticed, you still know what you're doing, right? You know what you're doing. You just have to listen to the angel on your shoulder and not the devil on your other shoulder. But that angel's still on your shoulder. You can still, part of you deep down knows what you're supposed to do. You just need to listen to that voice. And if you're struggling with listening to that voice, you need to sit back, sit down, relax, recalibrate yourself, get your thoughts together. I think what happens is these people, they start drinking and they get thrown off, and they don't ever take the time to sit back and recalibrate themselves. I'm really curious about what was said or what happened, because for those of you who couldn't see, maybe you can look it up on your phone in your free time. We're talking, what would you say, Bob? What, 30 to 40 people? Like maybe 40 to 50 people that are in that fight?
I think that's a little high.
A little high?
Yeah, cause
the whole
you're
little
talking, the aisles are narrow. You're in seats and that. I mean, there were certainly that many people around it.
Yeah. Maybe not actually throwing punches.
Yeah.
But just like that crowd.
Yeah, the crowd was, I would go with that.
30 to 40.
But not
actually fighting. That was probably more like 15.
Oh, well, our listeners couldn't see it. Looked like there was one bulky guy that was being escorted kind of up the stairs.
Uh-huh.
And he was, going backwards, and he was shouting, you could tell, and he's holding up fingers. I don't know what. And there was a guy standing next to him just minding his own business, and the guy tried to start a fight with him. It was just that guy that's probably the one that started it, just based on that little bit. He's walking up backwards and he's yelling and
holding up fingers. Yeah. Whatever that means.
Not the middle finger.
Oh, okay.
I think I saw 4 fingers. Like maybe there were 4 seconds left. Or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. And there was a guy that just kind of looked at him, and the guy,
all the good beer signs.
Yeah.
The main places I would never lose my cool at. A public sporting event like that one. Or if and when I'm lucky enough to have little ones, their games.
Yeah.
Now that one will be hard. I already know that'll be the tough one. You hear another parent shout something about your kid, or another kid pushes your kid down, the parent's next to you, and they're like, yeah, and they're like cheering it on.
Yeah. Well, many a parent has been ejected from a game.
Oh, yeah.
As they should be. But, this was over the top. And in today's world, there were cameras all over the place. That guy probably has already lost his job.
His friends are texting him.
Yeah. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Were you thinking?
Exactly. Were you thinking at all?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some backstory, especially with the fourth. I don't know. I don't know.
There is, but that kind of behavior is never excusable.
Exactly, or validated or at all. I tell you what, though, yeah, if it's your kid's game, who knows? Maybe it was the parent section. Maybe it was their kids. Maybe it was their kids out there, and that's where the emotion came from. I'd never know, but I must say I am definitely guilty of when I see things like that happen. I need to find the commentator audio, because I've done commentary before. Like, I've done play-by-play, and it takes professionalism when that starts to happen, because part of you, the kid in you wants to see the fight go down, and you're wanting to like, oh, but then you have to realize that you're the commentator. So you don't want to actually give play-by-play of what's happening.
But you want to.
Yeah, you want to. And you also want to make sure that whoever's listening can, like, kind of experience what you're experiencing a little bit. I had that issue. I was doing a high school football game last football season. And it was on a kickoff. It was actually on a punt. And a parent's kid was running down the field, and I'm not going to get too football specific, but a kid, he basically got pancaked. He got pushed on his back, and then instead of the guy who pushed him down just running on and continuing the play, he kind of like laid on top of him and like stayed there. So the play's going on like 30 yards away from this little spot, and then you just see in the middle of the field one kid on top of the other one holding him down. And the dad of the kid who got pushed down stood up, and I was at the top of the bleachers. I forgot the name of the field. It was a pretty big field here, the high school field. He stands up and starts quickly running down the stairs, runs all the way down the bleachers to the actual stairs to get down onto the field, and he's throwing his fist, and he's cussing out the ref, and he gets tossed. And I'm commentating it, and I'm like, it appears that one of the parents is not happy with the play. He's making
it.
Yeah. He's making his way down the bleachers right now, and he's going to try to get onto the field. Great times. All right, when we get back, we got some NBA talk. NBA's going on. We got Jimmy Butler and Anthony Davis taking shots at Wemby. Were the shots deserved? And should Wemby be the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year? All that and more when we get back after the break. You are listening to The Opening Drive on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
To the opening drive right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal, getting ready to wrap up this final hour. You know, Bob, so, off air you came in and you brought to my attention that the Savannah Bananas have extended their talents. They're spreading their talents across their country. It will no longer just be them. They're starting their own league.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? Well, it fits with their modus operandi. They're a wild team.
They are.
And any place, you can't just go to a baseball game and buy a ticket at the booth. You have to enter a raffle to get into their game.
Yeah. And I know that for a fact because when I first got here and I was doing the Isotope games, I was used to having like access to get tickets to the stadium whenever I wanted.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah, it's like, no, that game it doesn't work that way with them. And, the fans love them. They're like rock stars when they come into town. And, I remember specifically, I forgot which guy on the team it was, but they said that Albuquerque, and I don't believe they were saying this just to say it, that Albuquerque was their favorite place to come.
Oh, okay. Must be the green chili.
Yeah, it's got to be the green chili. They said the fans are the best. The way the fans show out, they said it's one of the biggest crowds they get all year. They say that they planned, I have to see if they followed up with this, that they planned on having Albuquerque be their first stop.
Oh,
yeah.
This year?
Yeah.
This coming baseball season?
Yeah, that's what they said. They said they want to come to Albuquerque first, and that Albuquerque in the Isotope Stadium is their first. Is going to be the first game, and that they like coming here the most. The fans show out the most, and that tracks because when you talk about the Isotopes, you hear a lot that they've got arguably the best fan base, the best stadium. Like their games are the most fun to go to out of the whole league. So it doesn't shock me at all that would translate to the Savannah Bananas. But as Bob says, as Cole's baseball entertainers begin their 10th season, with a game on February 1st in Mesa, Arizona.
Which is sold out.
Sold out. The Legions of the Bananiacs, I think I said that right. Bananiacs know what's ahead for the Bananas. Savannah will play one last season as a barnstorming Brat Pack ahead of the inaugural Banana Ball Tour Championship to be held this October in Savannah. In 2026, Cole launches a Banana Ball League with franchises based in 6 geographical regions.
Well, I'm looking at their schedule. They don't come to Albuquerque until May 24th and 25th.
Liars.
Well, the schedule, what they want to do and what they can do are two different things.
And that is 100% correct. I don't think it's a player's choice.
Yeah.
To decide where they want to go first. But I do know.
Well, they're in Denver. That's not too far away in August.
Yeah.
August 9th and 10th. That's not too far away. That's only a 7-hour drive. I've made it many a time.
Really? I haven't done that Denver drive.
Well, born and raised in Denver. And
really?
I have relatives, sister there and nieces and their kids and whatnot. So
you're a Broncos fan at heart?
Oh, yeah, at heart. Yeah. Been to a game.
That counts. That definitely puts you in there. Contention. No, that's awesome for the Savannah Bananas. They got something good going. Those guys are talented. Like, it's not a team where you just got to like having fun and you can go join the Savannah Bananas. And it's not even a team where you can just be a good baseball player. You have to be like
athletic.
You have to be extremely athletic. Your hand-eye coordination has to be insane. You have to be savvy. Like, you got to be one of those guys that could juggle on his first try.
Yeah.
Like that type of stuff.
Yeah. If you've never seen anything, of a game, try getting Savannah Banana greatest hits or something like that, in your search engine.
It'd be insane.
Yeah. One of them, and I mentioned this to you off air, and your eyes just lit up. you just went wide-eyed, was a guy that is an outfielder, and he caught a fly ball while doing a somersault.
Yeah.
Try doing that. And then right after that was a guy making a hit while on 12-foot stilts.
Wow.
That's it. Those games look like they are so much fun.
Things like that, they give you that feeling of like WWE. Like, is this real? Like, are these guys really doing this stuff? And it's yeah, they are. Yeah. Like he really just did that.
You cannot fake catching a fly ball while doing a somersault. You cannot fake that.
Not at all.
So anyway, I was glad to bring something to your attention.
No, I thank you for that. That's an awesome point, and that league's gonna make a lot of money. A lot of money. That you want to talk about TV product? The Bananas alone. It's the Bananas and someone else that they usually go against.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I forget too. But they're both sides are obviously on the same side.
Yeah. Who are they playing? There it is. The Texas Tailgaters.
Okay.
Is who they're going to play.
Texas Tailgaters. We'll take it. Yeah. We'll take it.
A couple of the other teams that they have is the Firefighters and the Party Animals.
Party Animals is what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Looks like they just have the 3 opponent teams.
Okay, and now it's going to 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be very fun. You know they're going to make stops in Albuquerque.
One. I only saw it one time.
I would hope when they stretch to 6, I hope they come to the Isotope Stadium a good amount and give Albuquerque a healthy dosage of that. But switching to something else that you may also think is fake, right?
Go ahead.
Looking at the NBA block list, and I'm not talking about guys that are blocked from coming in this stadium. I'm not talking about girls that NBA players have blocked on their cell phones. I'm talking about the block list of NBA players' total blocks. Victor Wembanyama. Last time I was here, I made the point that on average, he is on pace to be number 1 all time in blocks. He's on pace to be record setting when it comes to blocks. And so far in this NBA season, Wembanyama has 150 blocks. To put that into context, Anthony Davis is second in blocks with 88. 88 blocks in second place, whereas Victor Wembanyama is at 150. That's almost double the amount of second place. When you go down this list here, actually Walker Kessler just passed up Anthony Davis in blocks last night, and that lets you know how close it is. Look at averages. Victor Wembanyama averages 3.9 blocks a game. That's 4 blocks a game. Anthony Davis is at 2.1. Do you know the image of Anthony Davis when he came into the NBA? He was the block master. He was the number one shot blocker. So was Rudy Gobert, some other guys. No one's even close to Wembanyama. And when we get back after the break, we're going to discuss if Victor Wembanyama deserves to be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, or if blocks shouldn't be everything when talking about Defensive Player of the Year. We will get into that when we get back after the break. You're listening to The Opening Drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
You're listening.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here, knew.
You guys for listening to me. Thus far, I'm Zay Johnson. Bob Walpole is producing for me, and right now we're talking Defensive Player of the Year. And Anthony Davis, as of recent, has made some interesting comments, to say the least. In my opinion, this sounds like the closest thing to taking shots without taking shots. But I will let him speak for me. And I know previously, for those in the live stream or on Xfinity Channel 26, weren't able to hear the audio. So I'm going to play this through my phone here. I think it should sound good. I've heard other hosts do it, and it sounds pretty accurate, right? So I'm going to play this audio that Anthony Davis, he had an interview with Shams. You know, he's the #1 NBA reporter right now, free agency guy, whatever you'd like to call him. Anthony Davis sat down with him and had a conversation about the Defensive Player of the Year award. So let's take a listen to what Anthony Davis had to say.
Early start of the season, you were being talked about as MVP candidate. You're obviously right there for All-NBA again this season, All-Star, and then Defensive Player of the Year award. When you think about accolades like that, that comes with team success as well. How much in the thick of it do you feel like you are for those awards?
Yeah, Defensive Player of the Year, I don't know. I mean, it looked like it's going to go, I don't know. I think.
Do you agree Wemby's going to get it?
I feel like the narrative is being pushed for Wemby to get it.
What?
Right? Obviously, he's averaging like 4 blocks or something crazy like that. But then it goes back. Are we talking about just blocks? Because then so I don't know. I don't know how anything works anymore.
Slow your roll there, AD. I understand your point. I'm even going to make a point to help out your point. But slow your roll here, okay? Victor Wembanyama is not, okay, #1, he's not just leading in blocks. I just gave the numbers. We're talking 150 blocks to 88 blocks. That's a large margin. If I had to be a betting man, I would confidently bet that that's on pace to be the biggest margin from first to second when it comes to league leading in blocks in NBA history. I can't imagine another guy being that far ahead of the rest of the league. I just can't do it. For multiple reasons. #1, there's more shots taken nowadays than there ever has been. So there's more opportunity for blocks. But at the same time, as I just said, Victor Wembanyama is on pace to be one of the highest ever when it comes to averages for blocks per game in an NBA season. He says, are we just talking blocks? No, we're not just talking blocks, okay? And Wembanyama's blocks numbers is not just talking the only thing he does. He doesn't just block shots. There are every single game you see a guy, multiple guys, airball 3-pointers because he was coming at them. You see guys airballing makeable shots because he's in the area. He alters everything when he's on the court. He alters everything. His ability to switch. He can guard all positions. His length. The blocks is just the cherry on top. The blocks is what solidifies it. The blocks is a stat that confirms and validates what your eyes are telling you. This is what's kind of unfair about this. Anthony Davis, if you were to go to a combine against Victor Wembanyama, he might be faster. He might have a faster 40 shot, not faster 40. He might have a faster shuttle time. He might have a faster 3-cone drill. He might have more offensive skill. He might be quicker on his feet. He might have a higher vertical. None of that matters because Wembanyama is literally an alien. His physical makeup and this is not a shot at Wembanyama, but it doesn't matter if Anthony Davis is better on defense when it comes to inch for inch, pound for pound, dare I say. Wembanyama physically is so unfair that there's really nothing AD can do. There's nothing anybody can do to keep up with Wembanyama in blocks. And newsflash, this is his second year in the NBA. Victor Wembanyama, I guarantee the guy's not even 22 years old yet. Let me confirm that, Eric, because I got Patrick Mahomes' age wrong earlier. I got his age wrong earlier. He came into the league at 25. He's not 25. Well, not at 25, but he was near 25. He's not a young guy. Victor Wembanyama age, he's 21. Now, look at Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis. Those guys were still growing at that age. Literally, they grew inches after that age. Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, both those guys got taller. Now, I don't think Wembanyama will get any taller. I don't know if he wants to get any taller. But we're talking about a guy that he's 7'3", and I promise you he looks much, much taller. His wingspan is absolutely insane. He's got an 8-foot wingspan.
Oh, jeez. No wonder he's a block leader.
7 foot. He's 7'3.5" with an 8-foot wingspan. And he is able to go out there and move around like he's 6'7". Running up and down the court. He's handling the ball. The other day, he had 3 blocks in 1 minute. and what's crazier about it, this is where peak Wembanyama comes into play. After every single block, he corralled the rebound, took the ball up the court, and got an assist. So he gets the block, grabs the ball, goes up court, and threw an alley-oop to a shooting guard from half court. And he's 7'3". Basketball, don't let Kevin Durant brainwash you. 7'3" guys are not supposed to be handling the ball up the court, shooting threes, crossing guys over. He made someone fall the other day. He hit a behind the back dribble move and made a guy fall down. And he's 7'3" with an 8-foot wingspan. Look, Anthony Davis, please don't get yourself caught up in comparing yourself to Wemby. Don't get yourself caught up in trying to win Defensive Player of the Year over Wemby, because last year was the only time he's not going to win it. Until we look at Wemby and we say he's gotten old, he's 21. In 10 years, he'll still be young. Until we look at Wemby in 15 years and say, oh, he's getting older, that'll be when he stops winning Defensive Player of the Year awards. Unless his little brother, that's also a good basketball player, comes out of nowhere and can somehow match him. Because don't fret now. There's Wembanyama Part 2 on the way. Yeah, he's got a younger brother who also looks like a freak of an athlete. Anthony Davis, brother, maybe if you had 120 blocks, you can make a point, but 88 to 150, give that one up. Give that one up. Don't beat yourself up about it. I focus on trying to get to the playoffs and win a championship, because you're not getting that Defensive Player of the Year over Wembanyama. It's just not happening. If things play out how they should, it's not going to happen. But to Anthony Davis's point, I did look up if other Defensive Player of the Year award winners were not league leading in blocks. And I'd like to remind the listeners, in 2022, Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Grizzlies led the league in blocks, but he did not win Defensive Player of the Year. The winner of the award that year was Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is a guard, and he actually was the first guard to win Defensive Player of the Year since Gary Payton won it. So that's a big deal. Marcus Smart, he wasn't league leader in blocks, but it does say he ranked in the top 30. So out of 147 eligible players, Marcus Smart ranked in the top 30 for charges drawn, loose balls recovered, and deflections per game. So staying in the passing lanes, drawing charges, diving on the floor for loose balls, giving your team extra possessions, all of those things ultimately won Marcus Smart Defensive Player of the Year. So if Anthony Davis can focus on catching Wembanyama in steals, maybe the deflections, loose balls recovered, then he can maybe pull it out, and the Lakers would have to be more successful. Then he'd have a shot. But outside of that, it's not going to happen. When we get back after the break, we are wrapping up the opening drive, and we're going to talk Jimmy Butler and if athletes are wrong for putting themselves first, and if they're starting a very toxic and bad trend for sports, period, moving forward. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after the break. You're listening to The Opening Drive on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment.
Segment, and I want to talk some Jimmy Butler and the tantrums he's been throwing. I'm Zay Johnson. You can hear more of me on my YouTube channel. It's Zay Talks 824. It's Zay Talks 824. For those Cowboy fans out there, you just know the Lobo fans get on my tail when I start talking too much Cowboys, guys. So if you want to see the Cowboys specifically, you got to go to my YouTube channel. But on the opening drive, yeah, you can't just do Cowboys. You got to hit everything when you fill in the shoes of Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck, or at least attempt to do so. You got to hit all points, and trust me, I understand the assignment. What I want to finish up on is Jimmy Butler and his actions. Look, this is bad, okay? And this is bad on a deep, deep level. This is bad because Jimmy Butler has got fans, okay? We need to remember, guys like Cooper Flagg, who's getting ready to take the league by storm, I believe. Back when LeBron was, like, let's say in Miami, when LeBron was in Miami, or Kevin Durant was doing a good job back in Oklahoma City. Cooper Flagg was a little kid, right? Jimmy Butler has got kids watching him. And with those kids watching him, and he's doing all these actions, and they grow up to be potential NBA players, they're going to follow this. They're going to throw tantrums when things don't go their way. We got Mike on the line. Welcome to the show, Mike. Thank you for calling in. How are you feeling?
Yo, what's up, man? Thanks for taking my call.
Of
Yeah,
course.
just wanted to call and say, I agree with your points here, like what you're making. First of all, good show, dude. Good cover. You did fantastic today. It was really enjoyable what I got to hear.
Thank you.
Secondly, man, I totally agree. I don't know what AD's crying about. It doesn't matter. The eye test, Wemby's a better player. Like, dude, get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Wemby's a way better player. I like what you're about to say about the Cowboys and them falling apart, about Jimmy Butler being a total punk when he should be a leader and a face of the franchise and a face of the league, considering how he was viewed. Now he's just acting like a little spoiled kid. Hey, man, thanks for taking my call. Have a great day and great show.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike. And you have a great day as well. Yeah, AD, now, better player? He's maybe, look, if he's not now, he's about to be. I think when you go overall player, they're really close right now. I think offensively, Wemby, though, he can do everything. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Mike. I can't even. I was about to try to do it. I can't even make an argument. I can't make an argument. The only thing AD has over Wemby is weight and strength, and maybe I can't even say offensive bag because Wemby's out here doing dribble moves at 7'3". Absolutely insane. Great call, Mike. And yeah, Jimmy's being a punk. Look, you have kids that are going to end up in the NBA right now watching this, seeing how he operates. Now, as non-basketball players, as non-NBA players, we see things differently than somebody who's actually maybe a 4-star, 5-star athlete. Those guys are viewing Jimmy Butler's situation like, what's going to happen when I'm in his shoes? As fans, we look at it as disrespectful to the game. But you've got players that are planning and working to be in Jimmy Butler's shoes. And whether they know it or not, by them seeing Jimmy Butler act this way and still get what he wants in the end, it just influences bad professionalism. It influences, I'm not happy, so I'm not going to do my job. Matter of fact, it didn't even have to be an NBA, future NBA player. It can be anybody who does anything. It could be a player that doesn't like their coach. It could be a kid who doesn't like their boss. I'm unhappy. I wanted more money. I wanted to go here. You guys didn't give me it. Even though I'm on contract, I'm not doing it. I'm going to throw a fit until you guys force me out. What an awful way to go about things. You know what that is? That's the little kid who gets to start throwing a tantrum, and they know that as long as they throw that tantrum long enough, no matter how many threats to get grounded, no matter how many threats to not get McDonald's, I'll get that McDonald's. I just got to throw a bigger fit. And that is the behavior Jimmy Butler is enabling. Shame on Jimmy, who we once used to love so much. That's going to wrap up the opening drive right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Thank you, Bob Walpo, for being my producer. Always the best.
Always fun.
Thank you, Adrian, back at the studio, making sure the visuals were all smooth. And I will be back producing tomorrow, but we will have one of the members back for the rest of the week. Thank you, guys. You guys are the best. Zay Johnson is out.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore, just like riding a bicycle. I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Okie. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. ND Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their